Yo, partnership alert, partnership alert, partnership alert. Living Corporate has a partnership with LinkedIn Learning, an American massive open online course provider that provides video courses taught by industry experts across a wide array of subjects. Now, the partnership is because Living Corporate has courses on LinkedIn Learning focused on diversity, equity, inclusion for leaders, career professionals, and anyone really looking to upskill themselves and be better allies. So make sure you check out our courses on LinkedIn Learning by clicking the link in the show notes. And let's just say you don't want to do that. When you go to LinkedIn Learning on LinkedIn, search Living Corporate. We'll be right there. All right? Peace.
What's going on, Living Corporate? It's Tristan, and I want to thank you for tapping back in with me as I provide some tips and advice for professionals. On this episode, I want to talk about a phrase we see in job descriptions: pay is competitive. Have you ever been searching for a job, and as you're reading through job descriptions, you see pay is competitive, and thought to yourself, what does that mean? If so, the question is valid. The phrase itself doesn't add much to the job description, and it doesn't sound as enticing as companies believe it does. While the companies that use pay as competitive mean to signal that they have great salaries, it's actually a warning sign. Is it competitive for the industry? Competitive for the region? No one really knows. Since the phrase is so vague and subjective, it doesn't hold companies accountable to committing to any particular salary level. So when companies use this phrase, it can be a red flag for how they view compensation and labor. There's an old school belief that companies shouldn't share salary information in a job posting, typically because it limits their negotiating power in the compensation discussion. But at the end of the day, employers know what they can and are willing to pay for a role. So the only reason to not tell their candidates is if their goal is to pay people less than their worth. So if you decide to apply to a job listing that has pay as competitive, I suggest you bring up salary at the end of your first interview with the actual hiring manager. This helps position compensation as just one of the pieces of information you two are sharing and doesn't give off the impression that you are just here for the pay. You can ask, would you be willing to share the budget for this role? I'd like to make sure we're on the same page with compensation expectations. Remember, job postings in the entire hiring process are the first signs of how a company operates. Don't ignore the signs. Instead, make sure to address them. This tip was inspired by an article on HuffPost titled, "What It Really Means When Companies Say Pay is Competitive in Job Listings" by Monica Torres, and is brought to you by Tristan of Layfield Resume Consulting. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Layfield Resume, or connect with me, Tristan Layfield, on LinkedIn.